gentlemen, let me ask you a question that may shock you. What if I told you there is a hidden spot on your body that, when pressed for just 1 minute, can trigger blood flow so powerful it restores firm, lasting erections, even if you are well into your 60s, 70s, or even 80s? Imagine, after years of struggle, your body suddenly responding again with strength and confidence. This is not fantasy, and it is not a gimmick. My name is Dr. James. I am a physician and men's health specialist with more than 30 years of experience helping older men reclaim their vitality. I've sat across from countless husbands, fathers, and grandfathers who whispered their frustrations about fading energy in the bedroom. And I've guided them toward natural, proven solutions that gave them back not only performance, but dignity and hope. Here is the surprising truth. Most men believe that once potency begins to fade, the only options are pills, pumps, or resignation. But there is a paradox doctors rarely discuss. Hidden in plain sight is one small area of the body that holds the power to reverse much of this decline. Few men even know it exists, yet it has been recognized in traditional medicine for centuries and is now being confirmed by modern science. And here is my promise to you. By massaging this single spot for just 1 minute each day, you can improve circulation, awaken nerve sensitivity, and strengthen the very systems that fuel powerful erections and lasting vitality. In just a moment, I will reveal exactly where this spot is, how to find it with precision, and the simple method that makes it work. Stay with me, because this knowledge could change the way you age as a man. Before we get started, I'd love for you to subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss another tip designed especially for men in their golden years. And if this message speaks to you, just type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 so I know how to serve you better. Now, before I show you the exact spot and technique, we need to understand why erections often fade after 50. This isn't about weakness or failure, it's about natural changes in your body. Once you see what's really happening inside, the solution will make perfect sense. 1. Why potency declines after 50. Let's be honest, gentlemen, one of the most frustrating experiences a man can face is watching something that once felt automatic slowly begin to slip away. In your younger years, arousal often happened without thought, firm, reliable, and ready at a moment's notice. But as the decades pass, the body begins to change. You may notice it first in small ways, perhaps a little more effort required, or erections that don't last as long as before. Over time, these small changes can become bigger frustrations, and many men quietly begin to fear that part of their manhood is gone for good. I want you to know it's not your fault, and you are not alone. What's really happening inside your body is a combination of natural shifts that affect nearly every man after the age of 50. The first change is in the pelvic floor muscles, the very muscles responsible for controlling urination and supporting erections. These muscles become both tight and weak at the same time, much like an old rubber band that has been stretched too long. They feel tense, yet they no longer have the strength to snap back with power. This combination makes it more difficult for blood to stay locked into the penis, leaving erections weaker or fading too quickly. The second change takes place in your blood vessels. As we age, they lose their natural elasticity. Instead of expanding and contracting freely, they become stiffer and narrower. Erections depend entirely on strong, rapid blood flow, and when those vessels can't open fully, the firmness you once relied on is harder to achieve. Without that surge of circulation, potency begins to suffer. The third major change involves the nerves that carry pleasure signals. Years of sitting, poor posture, stress, and even the natural wear and tear of life can compress these nerves. It's as if the wires carrying your arousal signals become pinched, muffling the messages before they reach the brain. What was once sharp, vibrant sensation may now feel dull or slow, leaving intimacy less satisfying. Hearing all of this, it's easy to feel discouraged. Weak muscles, stiff vessels, compressed nerves, it can sound like a perfect storm working against you. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. These changes are not a life sentence, they are signals. Clear messages from your body asking for stimulation, asking for circulation to be restored, asking for attention in a very specific place. And that place, hidden in plain sight, may hold the power to unlock everything you thought was lost. In the next part, I'll reveal exactly where it is and why it has been called the $1 million point. 2. The secret spot, the perineum. Now that you understand why things begin to shift after 50, let me share with you something that most men never hear about, even inside a doctor's office. Beneath the surface of your body lies a hidden point of extraordinary influence, a small patch of skin that holds the power to awaken circulation, nerve function, and pelvic strength all at once. This point is called the perineum, known in ancient traditions as the $1 million point. At first glance, it may seem unremarkable, but the truth is that this area is like a crossroads where some of the most vital systems of male health converge. Think about what sits beneath that small strip of skin between your scrotum and your anus. Running directly through this space are the major blood vessels that supply your penis, the very lifelines that carry the surge of blood necessary for a strong and lasting erection. Alongside those vessels run delicate nerves that carry signals of arousal and pleasure to your brain. Without those signals, intimacy can feel muted, as though a once vibrant song were playing through a broken speaker. The root of your penis anchors itself in this region as well, providing structural support, and just above lies the prostate, an organ that plays a central role in both sexual and urinary function. All of this is layered together within an area smaller than the palm of your hand. When circulation slows, when nerves become dull, when muscles tighten, the problems often stack up here first, right at this hidden intersection. And here is where the opportunity lies. By stimulating this one spot with gentle, consistent massage, you are influencing all of these systems at the same time. You are sending a signal to your body to wake up, to release, to flow again. Men who practice this simple routine often describe a sense of warmth returning, a clarity of sensation, and even a noticeable improvement in firmness, as though a traffic jam inside their pelvis has finally cleared. What fascinates me as a physician is how ancient medical traditions recognized the importance of this spot centuries ago, long before modern science confirmed it. They called it a point of power for male vitality, and today we can understand why. The perineum is not just an overlooked piece of anatomy. It is a direct pathway to restoring energy, performance, and confidence. And the extraordinary part is this: finding and stimulating the perineum is far easier than you might think. In the next section, I will guide you step by step, showing you how to locate this exact spot and the simple method for massaging it safely and effectively in the privacy of your own home. This is where theory becomes practice and where change begins. 3. How to find and massage it. Now that you understand the importance of this hidden spot, the question naturally becomes, how do you actually find it, and once you do, how can you stimulate it in a way that truly brings results? Let me walk you through this as if I were sitting right beside you in my office, guiding your hand with the same calm reassurance I've offered to countless men before. The perineum is located in that small stretch of skin between your scrotum and your anus. It may feel unfamiliar to give this part of your body attention because most men never do, but once you explore gently, you'll notice it. Place your fingers there and you will likely feel a soft indentation, a slightly tender point that lets you know you've discovered the right place. That tenderness is not a warning sign. It is confirmation that you are touching a spot rich with nerves, vessels, and connections waiting to be awakened. The technique itself is remarkably simple. Place your index and middle fingers together and apply steady, moderate pressure. Think of pressing on a ripe tomato, firm enough to feel its structure but gentle enough not to damage it. That is the balance you are aiming for. From here, you can begin to make small circles, clockwise for 30 seconds and then counterclockwise for another 30 seconds. Some men prefer a gentle up and down motion instead, while others like the rhythm of pressing for 5 seconds and then releasing for 5 seconds, almost like creating a pump that invites blood flow into the region. The key is not brute force. Too much pressure will only leave you sore and discouraged. This is about encouragement, not punishment. With practice, the movement becomes second nature, And as days go by, you may begin to notice subtle shifts, a warmth spreading through your pelvis, a sense of relaxation you didn't realize you needed, and even a gentle pulsing sensation that tells you blood is flowing more freely than before. This is your body's way of responding, of waking up systems that had grown sluggish over time. And here is where it becomes even more powerful. While your hands alone can create this effect, there are natural oils that can transform the experience, making it smoother, more comfortable, and dramatically more effective. In the next part, I will share exactly which oils have stood the test of time, the science behind their unique properties, and how they can turn this simple massage into a daily ritual of healing and renewal. 4. Oils that make it work better. While it's true that you can perform this massage using only your hands, I have found through decades of working with men that adding the right oil can change the entire experience. It's not simply about reducing friction or making the touch smoother. The right oil has the power to enhance circulation, calm inflammation, nourish tissues, and awaken sensations that have been dormant for years. I've seen men who were skeptical at first try the massage dry and feel only mild results. But once they added the right oil, it was as if a switch flipped. Suddenly, there was warmth, flow, and a deeper sense of connection to their own body. One of my top recommendations is castor oil. This remarkable oil has been used for centuries in traditional medicine for its unique ability to penetrate deeply into tissues. It contains ricinoleic acid, a compound known to calm inflammation while stimulating blood flow. When applied to the perineum, castor oil doesn't just sit on the surface, it sinks in, as though it is reaching muscles, vessels, and nerves that need awakening. Many men describe a gentle heat afterward, a sign that circulation is moving again. For those with more sensitive skin, coconut oil is an excellent alternative. Smooth, soothing, and naturally antibacterial, it absorbs quickly without leaving behind a heavy residue. It also carries compounds that support hormonal balance and reduce low-level inflammation, both of which are important for sexual health. And let's be honest, coconut oil brings with it a pleasant, clean scent that makes the ritual feel even more inviting. Another powerful option is black seed oil. Treasured in Middle Eastern traditions for centuries as a tonic for vitality. It contains thymoquinone, a compound linked in studies to improve circulation and even support for testosterone levels. Although harder to find and sometimes more expensive, the results can be profound. Some men who try black seed oil never go back to anything else. And then there are essential oils, potent concentrates that can be blended in tiny amounts with a carrier oil. Just a few drops of peppermint to invigorate, rosemary to stimulate nerves, or sandalwood to nourish male health can elevate the practice into something far more therapeutic. But remember, essential oils are powerful. Only a few drops per ounce of base oil are needed. With oils, this routine becomes more than a massage. It becomes a ritual of care, a moment of healing you give yourself each day. And as powerful as that sounds, the real question many men ask me is, why does this actually work? What's happening inside the body when you press this spot and feel those changes? That's exactly what we'll uncover next as we dive into the science behind it. 5. Why it works, the science. At first, the idea that pressing on one hidden spot for just a single minute could restore blood flow and vitality may sound far too simple to be true. But once you understand what is happening inside your body, the entire picture begins to make sense. Over the years, I have explained this to countless men who walked into my office doubtful, and I have watched their faces light up as the science aligned with their own lived experience. The very first effect of massaging the perineum is improved blood flow. When you apply gentle, steady pressure and movement to this area, you are essentially acting like a pump, pushing stagnant blood out of tight tissues and inviting fresh, oxygen-rich blood to move in. Erections depend entirely on this surge of blood, and by stimulating the perineum regularly, you are training your body to respond more strongly and more quickly. Many men describe a warmth that builds during or after the massage. That warmth is not imaginary. It is a sign that circulation has been restored to places where it had slowed down. The second effect is on your nerves. The delicate pathways responsible for transmitting pleasure and arousal signals run directly through this region. Over time, they become compressed by muscle tension, poor posture, or years of sitting, causing signals to weaken. Gentle massage decompresses these nerves, allowing messages to travel freely again. Think of it as polishing an old electrical contact. Once the dust is wiped away, the current flows with clarity and strength. That's what happens when you stimulate this point. Third, the prostate benefits directly. Sitting just above the perineum, the prostate depends on healthy blood flow to function properly. When circulation improves in this region, it reduces congestion, supports hormone activity, and can even ease urinary symptoms that plague so many men as they grow older. Some men report not only stronger erections, but also fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom, a change that can transform both their rest and their daily energy. The fourth effect is on the pelvic floor muscles themselves. Much like the knots that form in your shoulders or back, these hidden muscles can become tense and overworked. By releasing tension here, you restore their natural function, allowing erections, orgasms, and bladder control to work smoothly again. Finally, there is a powerful effect on your nervous system. This practice activates the parasympathetic branch, the system of relaxation, healing, and restoration. Stress hormones like cortisol begin to drop, which is vital because stress is one of the greatest enemies of male potency. Men often describe not just better performance, but a sense of calm and balance that lingers long after the massage ends. When you add up all of these effects, circulation, nerve health, prostate support, muscle relaxation, and nervous system balance, it becomes clear why such a simple practice carries such profound benefits. But knowing the science is only half the journey. The real question is, when is the best time to do this, and how often should you practice to see real results? That's exactly what I will guide you through next. 6. Timing and frequency. One of the questions I hear most often from men is, "Doctor, when is the best time to do this massage, and how often should I be doing it?" It's a fair question because when it comes to restoring potency, timing and consistency can make the difference between small improvements and truly life-changing results. The truth is, your body operates on rhythms, hormonal cycles, energy patterns, and natural shifts throughout the day, and if you align this practice with those rhythms, the benefits become even stronger. Morning is one of the most powerful times to practice. That's because your testosterone levels are naturally at their peak soon after waking. By massaging the perineum in the morning, you're amplifying a signal your body is already trying to send. Many men report feeling not only more energized, but also noticing spontaneous erections becoming firmer during the first week when they begin their day with this 1-minute ritual. It sets a tone of strength and vitality that carries into the rest of the day. Evening also carries its own unique advantages. A gentle massage before bed calms the pelvic floor, lowers stress hormones, and allows your body to shift into a state of relaxation. This doesn't just improve the quality of nighttime erections or morning wood the next day, it also deepens sleep. I've had men in their 70s tell me they hadn't slept through the night in years until they began ending their evenings with this simple routine. The result wasn't just better performance in the bedroom, but steadier moods, more energy, and a sense of peace they hadn't felt in decades. When you first start, I usually recommend practicing every other day. This gives your body time to adapt without creating any irritation or soreness. After a week, most men find they can comfortably move to once a day. And for those who truly enjoy the benefits, twice a day, morning and night, can provide even greater results. But the golden rule here is simple: consistency over intensity. A single minute practice daily is far more powerful than occasional long sessions. It's like exercise. You don't become strong by going to the gym once a week. You get strong by showing up every day, giving your body the stimulus it needs to grow. And here's one more tip. If you're planning intimacy, the best time to practice is about 2 to 3 hours beforehand. This primes your system, awakening circulation and nerves without leaving you overstimulated. It's like charging a battery and having it ready when you need it most. Once men begin to see the rhythm that works for them, the results build layer upon layer until their confidence returns in ways they thought were gone forever. But even with the right timing and frequency, there are still mistakes that can hold you back if you're not careful. And that's exactly what we'll explore next, so you don't fall into the traps that keep so many men from experiencing the real benefits of this practice. 7. Common mistakes to avoid. Whenever I teach men this practice, I remind them that it's not just about what you do, but how you do it. Too often, men get excited by the idea of restoring their potency and rush in with the wrong approach. Then, when they don't see results quickly or they feel a little discomfort, they give up and assume the technique doesn't work. I don't want that to happen to you, because when done correctly and consistently, this simple practice can truly transform your health and confidence. The first mistake is pressing too hard. I know the temptation. You've been told all your life that harder work brings better results. But in this case, force is not your friend. The perineum is a sensitive area filled with nerves and delicate blood vessels. Applying too much pressure can leave you sore or even bruised, and that soreness discourages you from staying consistent. Remember, this is not about brute strength. Think of it as encouragement, not punishment. Gentle, steady pressure is what sends the right signal to your body. The second mistake is skipping the oil. Some men want to keep things simple, thinking they don't need anything extra, but oil does more than make the massage smoother. It nourishes the skin, reduces irritation, and carries therapeutic properties that improve circulation and calm inflammation. Skipping oil means missing out on half the benefits. Another common mistake is choosing an uncomfortable position. If you are straining your back, twisting your arm, or forcing your body into an awkward angle just to reach the perineum, you won't stick with this practice for long. Comfort matters. Whether you lie down with knees bent, sit at the edge of a chair, or stand with one leg slightly raised, find a position that allows you to relax completely. When your body is at ease, the massage feels natural and effective. Perhaps the most damaging mistake is giving up too soon. I have met men who tried this for 3 or 4 days, didn't notice a dramatic change, and decided it wasn't worth their time. That's like planting a seed in the ground and expecting a tree by the weekend. This practice works cumulatively, layer upon layer, day after day. Each time you stimulate this spot, circulation improves, nerves awaken, tension decreases, and your body relearns how to function as it once did. But you must give it time. Avoid these mistakes, and you give yourself the best chance of experiencing the full power of this technique. And when you do, you'll discover something remarkable. The benefits reach far beyond the bedroom. In fact, they can transform how you feel in every part of your daily life, and that's exactly what we're about to uncover next. 8. Unexpected benefits beyond erections. Most men begin this practice with one goal in mind. They want stronger, more reliable erections, and that is a powerful motivation. But what continues to amaze me, even after decades of guiding men through this routine, is how many other areas of life begin to improve once they commit to just 1 minute a day. The benefits ripple far beyond the bedroom, often showing up in ways my patients never expected. And sometimes those unexpected changes are the ones that bring the greatest joy. One of the first things men report is better bladder control. Those frustrating reminders of aging, dribbling after urination, rushing to the bathroom too often, or waking up multiple times at night can diminish significantly. By relaxing and strengthening the pelvic floor, you give your bladder the support it needs to work properly again. I remember one gentleman in his late 60s who came back to me after only a few weeks of practice. He told me that instead of waking 4 times a night, he now woke only once, sometimes not at all. His wife was just as thrilled because they were both finally able to enjoy uninterrupted rest. Another unexpected benefit is relief from chronic pelvic pain or lower back discomfort. The pelvic floor muscles are connected to your hips, your spine, and even your core. When they are tight, they pull on everything around them, creating a constant ache. By releasing tension through this massage, you ease that hidden strain. I recall a patient in his 70s who told me his nagging hip pain, which had plagued him for 5 years, completely disappeared after 3 weeks of consistent practice. His physical therapist was astonished, but he knew exactly what had changed. Men also notice improvements in balance and endurance. The pelvic floor is part of your body's foundation, and when it is functioning properly, every movement feels more stable. Exercises become easier, recovery faster, and daily activities less tiring. Even mood and mental clarity can improve. When stress hormones drop and circulation improves, men often feel lighter, calmer, and more focused. Many tell me they simply feel more confident in themselves, as though they are finally taking care of a part of their body they had ignored for far too long. This is why I often say the 1-minute massage is not just about erections. It's about reclaiming quality of life. It's about freedom, energy, and dignity. But of course, knowing the benefits is only half of the battle. The real challenge lies in making this a lasting part of your routine. And that's exactly what we will explore next, as I show you how to transform this practice into a natural daily habit that becomes impossible to forget. 9. Making it a daily habit. The greatest challenge with any health practice is rarely learning what to do. It's sticking with it long enough to see results. I've watched countless men begin this massage with excitement, only to let it slip away after a few days when life gets busy or distractions take over. But the truth is, the power of this technique doesn't come from doing it once or twice. The real transformation comes from turning it into a ritual, a small act of care you give yourself every single day, as natural and automatic as brushing your teeth. The first step is to anchor the massage to something you already do without fail. Maybe it's right after your morning shower, before you shave, or just before you get into bed at night. When you tie a new habit to an existing one, it becomes automatic. You don't have to rely on memory or willpower. Many men tell me that this one simple adjustment made the difference between forgetting and following through. Another helpful strategy is to keep a small bottle of oil in plain sight, perhaps in your nightstand or bathroom cabinet. Out of sight often means out of mind, but when you see that bottle every day, it acts as a reminder that your body deserves attention. Some men even describe it as a quiet invitation, a signal that it's time to take a minute just for themselves. Tracking your progress can also be surprisingly motivating. One of my patients in his 70s began ranking his energy and vitality on a scale of 1 to 10 each morning. A month later, when he looked back at his notes, he saw the steady rise in his numbers. That simple act of recording gave him proof that his effort was paying off, and it encouraged him to keep going. It's also important not to fall into the trap of perfectionism. You don't have to perform the massage at the exact same time every day, nor do you need to punish yourself if you miss a day. What matters most is consistency over time. Even practicing 3 or 4 days a week can create noticeable improvements, though daily use is ideal. Think of this as preventive maintenance for your body. Even if you're satisfied with your performance right now, this habit preserves your strength and vitality as you age. When you make this practice a permanent part of your life, you are investing in yourself, ensuring that your best years are not behind you but still ahead. And that brings us to the final and perhaps most powerful point of all, the choice every man must make about how he wants to age and whether he will allow decline to define him or take charge of his own future. 10. The choice is yours. At the end of the day, everything we have discussed comes down to a single decision. Will you accept decline as an inevitable part of aging? Or will you take an active role in keeping your body strong, vibrant, and alive? I have met thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s who walked into my office believing their best years were behind them. They had tried pills, they had felt disappointed, and many of them were ready to give up. But when they embraced this simple 1-minute practice, something remarkable happened. They discovered that their bodies were not broken, they were simply waiting for the right kind of care. This is not about chasing youth or pretending you are 20 again. It is about preserving dignity, intimacy, and confidence. It is about knowing that when you want your body to respond, it still can. Think about all the effort you put into maintaining your car, your home, or even your garden. You change the oil, you repair what wears down, you nurture what matters. But too often, men neglect the very vessel that carries them through life, their own bodies. This massage is a form of preventive maintenance, a small act of attention that yields enormous returns. I remember one patient, a gentleman in his late 70s, who came to me convinced that intimacy was behind him forever. After 30 days of consistent practice, he told me with tears in his eyes that not only had his erections returned with new strength, but his relationship with his wife had been renewed. They laughed together again, held each other with warmth, and he told me words I will never forget. "Doctor, I feel like myself again." That is the real promise of this practice. Not only stronger erections, but a fuller life, lived with joy, connection, and confidence. So the choice is yours. You can continue relying on quick fixes, hoping for the best while watching your vitality slip away, or you can invest just 1 minute each day into nurturing your body and restoring your strength. The cost is minimal. A little time, a little consistency, perhaps a bottle of oil, but the return could be extraordinary. You hold the power in your own hands, quite literally. I have seen this practice transform the lives of men who thought their hope was gone, and I believe it can do the same for you. One spot, 1 minute, one powerful choice. Do not surrender to decline. Choose instead to reclaim your vitality, your confidence, and the connection that makes life meaningful. Your best years can still be ahead of you. The choice, my friend, is in your hands.